Hi, everyone. You are listening to a 7-minute Lit Talk podcast, and I'm Alisa. I'll be the hostess of today's episode. We already have special guests here. Good evening, everyone. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm pretty good. Thank you for asking.
All right. Before we jump to our topic, we have two guests. Let's meet our first guest. Miss Kulanat Wallim. She is a literary enthusiast. Say hi, Kulanat.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me, and I'm so honored to be your guest for today.
Wow. Okay. And our second guest, Sirin Yuate. Of course, everyone already knows her, right? Because she is an actress who performs in famous movies such as Twilight, Titanic, and many more. Wow. Say hi, Sirin.
Hi, Alisa. Thank you for inviting me. Well, I'm glad to be here and feel excited to get to discuss with you with a special topic today.
Let's get started with today's episode. Today, we are going to discuss the short story, The Kew Gardens, which was written by Virginia Woolf under our topic, Shell Shock in the Gardens. All right, everyone, let me begin with the first question. What is The Kew Gardens and why should we read it?
I would say Kew Gardens draw our attention to a bunch of random activities going on in the Royal Botanic Garden in London on a hot summer day. Some of these activities include the snail noble circle through a flower bed, but also the movement of butterflies, the renting of a crazy old man, and the awkwardness of a young romantic couple, or anti-tagging. It is very English after all. The story alternates between description of the national environment and of the different figures that wander through it. Its plot structure is deceptively simple, but don't let that fool you. Kew Gardens is one of Woolf's most remarkable short stories, and not just because it has a snail in it. I think Kew Gardens involves some sort of experiment writing style like using stream of consciousness as a narrative tool, and it doesn't adhere to any traditional genre category like mystery or coming of age. As we have noted before, there isn't really a clear plot line. Think about how you would describe this story to a friend. It would probably go something like this. You know what? Wolf story makes me think about all the little things that make up an ordinary scene on an ordinary day and might help me see the hidden beauty in our day-to-day life. And sure, all this might not sound very exciting to you, but that is exactly the point. Wolf is trying to show us how when all these unexceptional and mundane aspects of daily life are drawn together, they create something exceptional and sublime. As for me, the scene in the garden are really incredible one.
Ah, I see the point that the scenes in the garden are really incredible because they are everyday scenes which are a combination of beauty and complexity which anyone can relate to, like who hasn't walked in the garden on a lovely summer day, meet other people, notice that the snail smells the flower, and maybe even reminisce about the past, right? All right, so we will quickly zoom into one couple, which is the older man and the younger man, because they seem like to an interesting relationship that we should discuss, and it's also linked to our topic. Ah, how is it, Miss Serene?
Right. I think Virginia Woolf took great interest in the effect of war on soldiers, particularly shell shock, a term coined after World War I to describe the effect of wartime trauma. By the end of World War I, the British Army had dealt with over 80,000 cases of shell shock in its returning soldiers. Shell shock or post-traumatic stress disorder present differently in each soldier, but common symptoms include fatigue, anxiety, trauma, and confusion. But the old man in his story, his appearance shows shock present is as a curiously uneven and shaking man thought, walking, shaking forward, and throwing up his head abruptly. This reflects society's view of mental health in the early 19th century and parallels jerky movement of the shell-shocked man, further underscoring the effect of communication breakdown and isolation after the war.
Wow, how interesting. Unfortunately, our time is up now. Let me briefly sum up, okay? Kew Garden is set during World War I, right? A traumatic event for Woolf, especially whose novels arrive with passages recording its grim, cozy lives and psychic stability, like we can see in The Elderly Man, against the ominous and unsettling background of mass destruction. Woolf exuberantly described the garden flowering in high summer with images of fertility, vivid color, and blazing light to combat the darkness of war. All right, honestly, today was beyond my expectation and I really enjoyed so much. Once again, thank you for coming and I hope we can meet all of you at another time.
Thank you, Alisa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.